If you go back and watch this series from the beginning, which I believe was the Monday after the NFL season ended, and you look at it now, I get increasingly more homeless looking as the videos go on. I just realized that now. But welcome back to the Mock Draft Guy YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. And today we are doing a 7-round Chicago Bears team mock draft. Now, I'm super excited for this one because the Chicago Bears fan base is one of the most boisterous fan bases on internet culture. On YouTube, they're always in the comment sections, anything Chicago Bears. On Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, anything like that, they are very passionate. And I've never seen a fan base more divided on a number one overall pick than the Bears are with Caleb Williams and Justin Fields. Now, before we get into anything here, I understand the whole Caleb Williams thing. I understand going and getting your quarterback of the future. I understand resetting the financial market, whatever it may be. You could spend money elsewhere instead of having to pay Justin Fields eventually. I get all that. I do. I am pro keeping Justin Fields, and really the only reason why is because he has shown flashes. I know people are going to say, oh, after all this time, he should be a bona fide star. I get it. But they haven't necessarily surrounded him with the talent that he needs. He took a massive jump forward, I would like to say, this year with DJ Moore. So now you add more talent around him. You get a better offensive line, you get a little bit more weapons. The defense is really shaping out to be something special. I mean, the second half of the 2023-24 season, they were borderline spectacular. So, if they could solidify the offensive line, maybe get him another weapon, I think Justin Fields is going to be someone that can be a high-quality starting quarterback in the NFL. So if you were looking for this mock draft with Caleb Williams, I'm sorry to tell you, I will not be taking Caleb Williams. I think that the value of the number one overall pick just holds too much to not trade up or trade out, excuse me. But without further delay, I think we should get into this mock draft. All right, so to kick off this mock draft, we have made a massive trade down, and this is the perfect scenario for me for the Chicago Bears. So we traded out of the number one overall pick. We moved down only 2 spots with the New England Patriots. They moved up. Caleb Williams, Drake May, the first 2 players off the board here. So that leaves us at number 3 with Marvin Harrison Jr. Quick recap of the draft capital that we acquired. We got number 3 overall, number 34, number 68, and a first and second round pick for next year. I think this is tremendous value just to move down 2 spots and still get quite possibly the best player in the entire draft, and that's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. This pick really offers no explanation. I mean, something that Bears fans haven't heard already. So at number 3, now armed with a lot more draft capital, that second round pick is so clutch. We are going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. So at number 9, I was kind of sort of hoping that Joe Alt or Olaf Ashanu were going to be on the board. Wishful thinking, of course. That would just be, for me, the absolutely quintessential first round for the Chicago Bears. But at the end of the day, Braxton Jones, Darnell Wright, those are both super solid tackles. So I don't really think I'm kind of in, think the opposite thinking with some Bears fans where they think, oh, Joe Alt should be the first pick or the 9th pick, whatever it may be. But I don't think that a tackle upgrade is absolutely quintessential for the Chicago Bears. I think they're much more pressing needs. So number 9 overall, I'm going to address the defensive side of the ball here. We got our wide receiver of the future, Marvin Harrison Jr. and DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. That is a fantastic trio, and we might not be done adding to that just yet. So at number 9, I'm going to go to the defensive side of the ball. Montez Sweat, fantastic acquisition. Some people think, oh, here they go again, giving up a second-round pick for a player that's not going to do well. Montez Sweat shouldn't even be in the same stratosphere as mentioning Chase Claypool. That was just a disaster from the beginning. That's all in the past. Montez Sweat, fantastic player, really kind of helped transform this defense a lot. But the defensive line, other than Montez Sweat, is just super suspect, especially at the other defensive end position. DeMarcus Walker, I believe, was the other starter. I think he had 4.5 sacks, age 29 season. Not enough for me to keep him around as a starter. So we're going to upgrade the other defensive end position here. We're getting 2 super premium positions off the board right away in the first round. And that's going to be Laiatu Latu for me here. I was hoping that Dallas Turner was going to make it to number 9. Unfortunately, he didn't. That would be unbelievable because you have a speed rusher, a Montez Sweat, and then you have someone like Dallas Turner who's also super fast off the edge, also a tremendous run defender as well. But Latu is someone that is widely considered the best edge rushing prospect, pure edge edge rushing prospect in the entire draft class. And it's hard to really argue against that, besides for maybe his medical history and the fact that he's a slightly older prospect than a few other guys. He's just a tremendous player. He's a perfect 4-3 fit in the Eberflus defense as well. He's going to be a tremendous contrast to what Montez Sweat brings. He brings that, that speed, that quickness. Latu is going to bring that power, that just, pure pass rushing refined talent. So I love the fit here for Chicago at number 9 for Laiatu Latu. So we're sitting here at number 34, and I definitely want to address the offensive line. Now, the interior of the offensive line is more of a concern with me. Center is probably the most upgradable position in this is the most upgradable position on this entire offensive line. And for me at number 34, maybe some people think this is a reach, but what he's about to do with the combine and his pro day might even propel him into first round consideration, especially with the Miami Dolphins lurking somewhere around here at 21, the Steelers at number 20. Teams that need interior offensive line help. If he's here at 34, I think the Chicago Bears have to pull the trigger here. That's Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. A tremendous athlete. I did a NFL Draft Diamonds short on him a few weeks ago. He is just an amazing football player. Just so mean, so nasty, incredibly athletic, a power run blocker as well, and someone that's only going to get better. He's only made 11 starts in his career at the center position at Oregon. He even made a start, I believe, in the Alamo Bowl against LSU. He made a start at defensive tackle a few years ago. That just proves the athleticism and the natural fluidity in his game. He's going to be a tremendous player. He's someone that I'm going to plug into the middle of my offensive line, and he's going to sit there for 10 to 12 years, and he's going to be a rock in the middle of my offensive line. So Jackson Powers Johnson is the pick for me at number 34. Now we're sitting here at number 68, and I'm going to go back to the defensive line again, just address it again. Justin Jones was pretty good for the Bears this past season, Andrew Billings as well. Then you have the 2 defensive tackles that were drafted last year, Zach Pickens, Gervon Dexter. Those guys put in pretty decent rookie seasons as well. But I still want more talent. I want more bulk, more mass on the defensive line here. And I love what Chris Jenkins can bring to the table for the Chicago Bears. I mean, this is just an incredible youth movement in Chicago if this is what's done. You got 2, I don't know if Gervon Dexter and Zach Pickens could be starting caliber players for a full season, but those are fantastic rotational depth pieces as well. Maybe Gervon Dexter, Zach Pickens more of an athletic, rotational type of guy, but this defensive line is just getting younger and even better. So right here at number 68, with him still on the board, I'm going to take Chris Jenkins, 6'3", 305 pounds. He's not quite as big as his father was, but he is a pocket mover. He's a complete disruptor, and he's a really good run defender as well. So I think this would be an immediate upgrade over someone like Andrew Billings. Even though Billings gets a bad rap, I mean, I think he's been a fine player throughout his career, been passed along, and he's actually done pretty well everywhere he's gone. But I think just a younger, cheaper, better option is out there, and I think that's Chris Jenkins. So we originally had the 75th pick here. I did trade down 4 spots. I acquired a 7th round pick for that. 223 was the selection that I picked up from the Arizona Cardinals. Just a slight trade down, kind of to break the gap here. 142, then we didn't have another pick. So just to acquire more draft capital, I moved down 4 spots here. At number 79, I'm going to address the offense yet again. Maybe not a pressing need at all if you think about it, especially since how good Cole Kmet has been. But I'm really intrigued about the tight end position because, Mercedes Lewis, he is a free agent. Robert Tonyan is a free agent as well after this season. And that just leaves one tight end on the roster, and that tight end is Cole Kmet. So a lot of these teams are going to multiple tight ends here, going to not only just 12 personnel, I'm talking about just multiple athletic pass-catching tight ends. And Cade Stover is someone that I really like a lot. Thought he could have been a high-impact player last year when he came out of the draft, but he elected to go back here. 6'4", 251 pounds, comes with 4.5 speed. He's got great long speed as well, someone that's probably going to be a tad faster than Cole Kmet, a little bit more explosive, a little bit underdeveloped as a blocker, but still holds his own pretty well as a blocker as well. Someone that can play inline, someone that can play in the slot as well, really space out the offense. So maybe not an immediate need, but just someone that's going to play, probably going to play a lot too. I'm going to get Cade Stover here for the Chicago Bears at number 79. And then sitting here at pick number 110, I like Jaden Hicks a lot here out of Washington State. Safety is definitely a position that can use an upgrade, and you're probably thinking, oh, why didn't you use a pick sooner if you think it could use an upgrade? Jaden Hicks is a fantastic player for Washington State, 6'3", 212 pounds, has some elite size and ball skills for the position. He also can play that money backer role that we like to see a lot, that we see these defensive coordinators, they like a lot. He can play a lot in nickel and dime personnel as well. He's a good coverage safety, brings a nice pop when he's hitting the ball carrier as well. This is someone that I think could be a nice rotational guy until, Eddie Jackson decides to get out of town eventually, and then eventually take over. But he's someone that I think would be a key cog in the Chicago Bears, resurgence as a really, really good defense. Sitting at number 122 right now, I'm going to address the secondary yet again. I'm going to get the cornerback position here. I'm fully convinced that Ryan Poles will pretty much do anything he can this offseason to retain Jalen Johnson. He was a tremendous part of that Bears defense this year. He really, really blossomed into a superstar this season. He was, I believe statistically, he was the best corner in the NFL. So that's something that I'm not willing to part ways with if I'm Ryan Poles. He was one of the key cogs of the defense. Now, to shore up that position, I know Ryan Poles did invest in the cornerback position quite heavily last year. He also drafted Tariq Stevenson, who's been fantastic as well. Someone that I was a really big fan of last year out of Miami. Thought his intangibles were going to be good. He just couldn't really put it all together. Some people thought he could have even been a first-round pick. I believe he was picked at the back end of the second round. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but I thought that was a phenomenal fit next to Jalen Johnson. And, of course, Kyler Gordon is still there as well. He had a pretty good season, I want to say, as well, off the top of my head. A couple interceptions, forced fumbles, stuff like that. But just to shore up the position here, I really like Dwight McGlothern here out of Arkansas. He's way down here, so I know what you're going to say. Well, somewhere over here. Here he is. I like him a lot. Brings a lot of size, and he's a really good press man corner. 6'3", 190 pounds, has good speed, 4.49 speed as well. When you're like a press guy, if you're a good press corner, you don't need to be a speed demon. And I don't think a lot of people really understand that, because that's the reason why you are a press man, because you have the recovery speed, but maybe not the long speed necessary to be, like an off cover man or a zone cover corner. But he's a really, really good player. And I don't think that he's gotten his justice so far this draft process, but he's someone that a lot of these draft guys like, and I like him as well. I like the size speed combination. I just like him as a really nice depth piece that could be a spot starter if needed as well. Corner is a very volatile position where you can never have too much depth. And I mean, looking at some of these teams that are in the NFC North right away, you're looking at the Minnesota Vikings, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. Then you have Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Dontavion Wicks, Romeo Doubs over there in Green Bay, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. You have all these offensive weapons that the NFC North has. You're going to need as many corners as possible. So I'm going to take Dwight McGlothern here at number 122. At number 142 here, I'm going to go back to the offensive line here. I'm going to get someone that could be a potential developmental swing tackle. The Bears and Ryan Poles have had success in the fifth round with tackles. You think right away Braxton Jones, of course. So why not double dip, try it again here at number 142. Swing tackle is a need. Offensive line depth in general is just a need. Kind of the same spiel that I just had with cornerback. I feel the same way about the offensive line. Very volatile position. It's a next man up type of mindset. Where you could be a undrafted free agent that played in Division III. If you're on the roster and someone goes down, sorry, buddy, you're in there, and you're not going to know what the hell is going on. But it's a next man up mentality. It's a super tough position. I think it's always the toughest transition from college to the pros, and I really like Ladarius Henderson here out of Michigan, someone that kind of sort of made a little bit of a better name for himself throughout the college football process. Someone 6'4", 315 pounds, someone that I don't think is a finished product just yet, but that's someone that you keep to yourself, you develop him, could be a perfect swing tackle as well, kind of like what I just said. So I really like the offensive line depth here, and we got a good thing. We're cooking with gas here for the Chicago Bears when it comes to offensive line now. At number 229, 223, I'm going to round out the draft with a wide receiver that not many of you might know. It's DeCorian Clark out of University of Texas San Antonio here, UTSA. What I really like about him, he comes with an injury history, but he does run a 4.49 at 6'3", 216 pounds. I love the size. This is going to be a team that'll have tremendous size at the wide receiver position. Marvin Harrison Jr. on one side. DJ Moore has some pretty decent size as well. I think he's like 5'11", but he plays a lot bigger than that. And then, DeCorian Clark as well would be 6'3", 216 pounds. Someone that could be a real force in the red zone as well. Like I said, he comes with an injury history, but I gotta believe that if he didn't have injuries throughout his college career, I would think that he'd be at least like a third, fourth, or fifth round pick, something like that. But this is a nice find here in round 7. He reminds me a lot of Bryce Ford Wheaton, even though Bryce Ford Wheaton ran at 4.38 and he's 6'4", 225 pounds, but he's just a big body that can run really, really fast. And I think he's going to really carve out a nice niche for himself in an offense in the NFL. So he lands here with the Bears at number 223. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There is your full 7-round Chicago Bears 2024 mock draft. Let's recap it. We had number 1 overall pick. We traded down with the New England Patriots. We acquired number 3, number 34, number 68, and a first and second round pick next year. We got Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 3. We got Laiatu Latu at number 9. Jackson Powers Johnson at 34. We got Chris Jenkins at 68, Cade Stover at 79, Jaden Hicks at 110, Dwight McLaughlin at number 122, 142. We got Ladarius Henderson, 223. We got DeCorian Clark, and like I said, we acquired a first and second round pick for next year as well. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Let me know if you are pro Caleb Williams or you are pro Marvin Harrison Jr., pro trading out, whatever it may be. And I hope I see you in the next one. Thank you.